So first things first, right now we're going to actually start off with the Bill perk. I think this is actually left behind if I'm correct. So basically, once per trial, if you are down, you can actually get yourself back up. Now, I would admit that's actually pretty amazing right there. I'm not going to lie. But because of that, there's so many perks in this game. It's going to be really hard to rank all of them. I think the fact is that he is... and yeah, 35% recovery speeds. Thank you, X-Men. So you do get a 35% recovery speed. And it's very situational, I would say, because, you know, you have to actually have the killer be slugging you for you to get any use out of it. Now, I get it that there's some perks it does also factor in. Like, there's so many things to factor in. There's a lot of variables, right? Like, if you actually have a good build, maybe Left Behind actually partners up very well, right? But the perk by itself, though, right? Because it seems like you have to kind of build around it. And not only that, like I said, it's very situational. We don't really know if you're actually going to get in a situation like that. And because of that, I think putting it at C, is very generous, because it's just the simple fact that you don't even know if you're going to get use out of it. You have no idea. All right, so we have now empathy. So empathy allows you to see the aura of all survivors. Now, this right here is the same thing as Bond, except for I think empathy allows the aura to be, you can read it further away. So you can actually hypothetically get more value out of it compared to Bond. So I think empathy honestly might be ranked at C as well. Maybe actually a little bit higher than the Bill perk. So I mean, you know, if you're actually running like if you're running a heal build, then absolutely this perk will actually come in more handy, since you can actually go over to that survivor and heal them up. So it's kind of like that. It's the same. It's very simplistic. You're basically running over to the survivor, heal them up. Adrenaline. Now, I don't know if you guys actually do watch all my streams, but basically I did say this. I think adrenaline is super overrated. The reason why I think it's overrated is because it's basically you're taking up a perk slot, right? Yeah, I get it. Bond always works. So maybe you could make a statement that Bond actually would be better than empathy. You can also say that. Which we will get into Bond. We might actually move this up on the list so we can actually get into that and talk about Bond. But empathy, like the reason why I think empathy and Bond are kind of on the same level here. They're still on the same C tier, which I know, spoiler alert, Bond is going to be on C tier, but I'll explain a little bit why. So adrenaline, I think adrenaline is extremely overrated. I think the fact is that it takes up a perk slot and you get value out of it towards the end of the match, more so trying to get a perk that actually will help you during the match. Now at the end of the match, yeah, I get it. At the end of the match, it could be really hectic. It could be extremely hectic. But the thing to counter adrenaline, that I personally been seeing it way more now, is actually having NOED. So I guess if you really want to, because NOED would counter adrenaline if I'm correct. So adrenaline just ends up becoming useless in that. Now I get it. That's a scenario of it. But it's also the fact that adrenaline, there's so many perks in this game. There's so many that I don't even know if I got all these perks right now in the game. But adrenaline it's so situational. Once again, it's the same situation as this one. But the thing is, though, I think it's so overrated to the point that I feel like at least the Bill perk, you can actually get use out of it. But it's situational, but it can help you out during that match. So, and usually killers don't expect it too. While adrenaline, maybe they might be expecting it, but you know, even if they are expecting it, it doesn't matter, because you're gonna get it. I actually think, as of right now, I'm gonna put adrenaline at D tier. I think it's just extremely overrated. Decisive strike is not necessarily overrated. Once again, it helps you out that one-time good use, especially if you're in like a situation where the killer is tunneling you. This will help you out and actually extend the chase even longer. And also, like, I get it, there's a lot of builds that you can do in this game. Maybe you can perhaps have builds with the decisive strike to make you actually stay in that chase longer. But Decisive Strike on its own is actually pretty good. I'm actually going to rank it at B. So if the killer picks you up, you do a Decisive Strike, get back right on to running, and there you go. The chase is going on longer. And maybe you might actually lose the killer. Bond. Now, I get it. Bond actually is, if I remember correctly, Bond's aura reading is lower than empathy. It's lower, but Bond does give you the benefit of you actually finding people who are on generators for you to work on them, right? So if you could hypothetically do that. These perks right here, yeah, empathy is 128, Bond is 32. I think Bond is good, you know, I guess, because it's always active, but they're still, in my eyes, they're still on the same length. They're still on the same level, right? There's really not much to do about it. You know, if you're doing a complete heal build, you know, you would do empathy. If you're not doing a heal build and you just want to actually look for people to work on gens, now Bond is strictly made for single player. If this was actually made for even with your friends, I think it would be F tier. If you were just with your friends, there's no reason why you would use Bond if you guys can communicate with comms. But if you guys are actually, if you're by yourself and you want to do that, I think maybe you could put it at the end of C, at the end of C tier, because you know, it's always active. They're still on the same level though. Dead Hard. Now, I think Dead Hard is an absolutely amazing perk. Now, unfortunately, I'm not actually really that great with Dead Hard. I'm not going to lie, man. Maybe the killer is always expecting it from me. I don't know. But when I am the killer and I'm chasing after survivors, chances are they have Dead Hard. I find it really annoying. It's not for finding only. If it's for not leading killers to someone who repairs gens too. You underrated it. I mean, the same thing could apply for empathy as well. Same thing could apply for that. And not only that, if you also have Bond, chances are, if you really are good at looping, let's say that you really are good at looping, you want to actually stay in a same area with the looping. For example, let's say if you're at Shack, you actually want to stay there instead of actually moving around and actually doing that. So Bond isn't really necessarily a bad perk if you're playing it by yourself, but there's no way I can actually say that this is an A tier or a B tier. Like I said, they're kind of like the same length there, the same level. But don't worry, we're going to get into what is an S and what is A, because right now, Dead Hard, like I was saying, Dead Hard is a very, very great perk. And it also makes the chase ends even longer, so it buys more time for generators to be built. So I think personally Dead Hard is going to be our first S tier, where I think it is really, really powerful, and it's super, super annoying if you're the killer. Balanced Landing. I think this is Balanced Landing logo, right? I think so. So for Balanced Landing isn't as powerful as Dead Hard. Sorry, it's not, because it's very situational. But there are some maps where you can get a lot of use out of it. You can get extreme amount of use out of it. Basically, if there's like a little hill, you can drop off that hill and actually get that sprint burst. But the thing is, though, there's some maps like the hospital. There's some maps, I think even RPD, you can get use out of it. You can. It's just that it won't be as useful as compared to those open maps. So it's very map dependent. I think because of that, I think Balanced Landing should be at B tier, because there's some situations where you might not even be using it to its full ability. Borrowed Time. So Borrowed Time isn't as useful anymore compared to how it was back in the day. I actually, to be honest with you, I don't really use Borrowed Time anymore. I used to. I thought because when I first started playing Dead by Daylight again and started streaming it, I thought Borrowed Time was a must. But nowadays it's not really anymore, because now when you actually unhook a survivor, they do get that protection. So I would say Borrowed Time right now is, it's going to be a controversial take, but I think it's either E or F. I'm going to put it at E right now, because I mean, it's still good because you get the extended time. so I guess you could actually get value out of it. It's just now, it's just, I mean, now the killer already knows, so the killer could be already chasing after the survivor, not even wasting that time. You know, it's all that. It's very, it's okay. It's not really that great as it used to be anymore. Friendly competition. I think friendly competition is extremely overrated if you're doing a gen build, especially if you're actually doing, if you're working on all gens, all you know, all your teammates, you get a 5% repair speed. So even if you guys actually split up, everyone gets that 5% repair speed. It does prove, it actually, it's funny that it's right next to prove thyself, because I actually compare it really combines very well to prove thyself. So I think friendly competition is extremely good, and because of that, I think it's super underrated. I think it's A tier, or actually, you know what? I'm actually gonna put it in B. I'm gonna put it in B. Sorry, I don't think that's worthy of an A tier yet. I don't think that's worthy. Sorry. Even though I love it, I don't really want to be super biased on it. I think B tier is actually where it's at. So not friendly competition. Prove thyself, I think, is an A tier, because if you actually are with other survivors and you're on that generator all together, there you go. But the thing to note though is that the reason why it's at A, I know it sounds really kind of silly, but basically if you're on a generator and another individual has proved thyself, and it doesn't stack, so it's kind of making it useless because you're only getting value from one of them. But the amount of times that I get value from prove thyself is absolutely amazing though. It really is amazing. I love prove thyself. I get it. And it's also, here's another thing too to factor into. Now, prove thyself is good. It is, because you get value when you're working on it with another survivor. That being said, you actually would get more value if every survivor was split up doing their own generator. That's also something that needs to be said as well. So if everyone was on their own generator and a killer was actually choosing one of the survivors and chasing them, then that means 3 other generators will then be getting repaired. Right now, prove thyself is good though. I mean, especially if you're having a hard time finding another generator. So, you know, there you go. You can actually be on that generator and be with that survivor. I think this is called blast mine. This is where basically you put a little flashbang in the generator, right? And so if the killer actually hits the generator, they get flashbang. Now, the thing that I think this perk is also extremely underrated as well, where I think this perk helps you out. If a killer sees a survivor, they might want to actually hit their generator first before actually starting the chase. Because, you know, killers would actually typically do that. I even do that too. But now they hit that generator, get flashbang, and now they lost a survivor, and now they have to hit the generator, wasting even more time. And so there's more. You can actually get a lot of value from this, to where I personally, I know it's going to be controversial, but I'm actually personally think it's an A tier, because I don't know anybody who wouldn't want to hit the generator, right? Because there's a lot of times where they're going to hit the generator. But the thing is, it puts them in a very interesting situation, right? Because now they got flashbang, right? Now they got to waste more time to hit it. Or now they know that you have the flashbang in the generator, so they can chase you. But then if you have another survivor that's like lingering around everywhere, right? They're just going to go on that generator and keep repairing it. So it's a whole type of situation you have going on there. So you put the killer in a very unique little position. So Better Together, I think, is a very good perk as well if you're by yourself. But it's if you're by yourself, you're not in comms, and you want survivors to actually come find you, and you want randoms to actually come to you and actually be on a gen with you, yeah, absolutely, this perk actually brings in a lot of value. But the thing, like I said though, is that you would want to hypothetically everyone be split up on generators. And not only that, I feel like this only helps out towards the early game to mid game. Late game, there's not really any value on it, I feel like. Because now usually all survivors know where all the generators are at, and even if they don't know where it's at, there could be situations where you're on a generator where it's like super far away and the killer can't protect it. I think Better Together is actually on the same wavelength as Empathy and Bond, in my opinion. I think it's above it though, because you're actually telling people to come to you instead of you going to them, and I think it has more of a reading. So there's that whole situation. So you could actually be working on a generator, and if someone injured came to you, you can also heal them. Chance of luring woodland creatures by 100%. Allows you to overcome the urge to scream. Allows you to open chests and cleanse blessed totems slightly, but 30% reduced speed. Okay, yeah, I remember now. Okay, yeah, this is probably like one of the worst perks. So the reason why it's such a bad perk, yes, it does 100%. You don't alert the birds or anything, right? Which I guess is cool, right? But the thing is though, is this is the fact, like, you get a 30% reduced speed doing totems. So you're actually helping out the killer, because the killer might have, you don't know what the killer might have, but the fact that it's taking you longer makes you waste even more time. The fact that you're actually just like not even really doing anything about it, like you're just wasting time. Like, my lord, this perk isn't really that great at all. If someone's doing a dull totem and they're wasting time, especially if you wanted to use inner strength, if you want to use this perk too, that is just like you're completely counter it, because now it takes even longer for you to heal yourself. So it's just so stupid about it. So I wouldn't really enjoy doing that perk. I think that perk is just like, it's not that great. I'm sorry, it's not. But we're going to talk about inner strength. Now, inner strength, here's my opinion about inner strength. Inner strength is such a great perk when you're by yourself and you're actually you're playing by yourself, and you want to also cleanse dull totem. So you're getting a lot of value from this, because let's say there's a hex totem, right? You cleanse the hex totem, now you get that perk that's active. You go in the locker, you heal yourself, or you save it for a later date, because maybe you get damaged, you get hurt, and maybe just all you need to do now is go into a locker and just heal it. So that's something that you're factoring in, right? You're actually cleansing a dull totem just in case they might have Know-It or something, and then you heal yourself. Or you're cleansing a hex totem and then you'll heal yourself. So in my opinion, I think you're getting a lot of value from inner strength. So I actually want to say it's actually a B tier. I think it's probably, to be honest with you, I think it's a high B tier, because as of right now, that's like, I think that's the only perk that actually really heals yourself and is actually effective, where you get a lot of value. Self-care, no. Self-care is probably the worst perk in the game as of right now. So if you have self-care, you need to get rid of it. I'm telling you guys right now, because that is the worst perk in the game, and you're just not helping out your team. You're actually really hurting your team. You're hurting it awfully a lot. All right. Hold on, so we're actually gonna see so Feng Ming, what's this one? When you cue a sense of high alert, when the killer performs a break action, the killer is revealed to you for 5 seconds. Okay. I think this perk actually is really outdated now. Excuse me, I think it's really outdated, this perk. So now we actually have on the left side now where that, you know, where the killer is chasing, like, you know, the killer is chasing a survivor. So there's that. But I guess if you're in single player, maybe like I guess you can try to see. But now if you're just hearing it though, hearing the sounds, or maybe you're even seeing it visually, I think this perk is not that great anymore. Maybe back then it used to be better, because there was no visual where you're seeing a survivor, one of your teammates being chased. But now the fact is, now that you're seeing it now. So I feel like because of that, it's actually not that great. I think Technician is actually really good for beginners. But when you actually already start to become that master with Technician and you start actually doing gens, I think if you're doing a gen build, obviously run Technician, and you're starting out too. Yeah, obviously I would say do Technician. So Technician is actually has a very unique niche for beginner players. So I would say Technician is pretty good. And Leith, right? After performing a rush vault, you gain a 50% haste for 3 seconds. This is actually really good. I would also say you get more use out of this than actually balanced landing. I think, well, you know what? To be honest with you, because every map has windows, I feel like you're always going to get some type of use out of it. And not only that, might be better than people who use sprint burst, because I know some people don't like using sprint burst. So I think because of that. So let's actually rank this right now, which is this, right? I think personally it might be E tier at the end of E. Only because like I feel like it is super like you know where the killer's at by seeing the logos and everything being, you know, wiggling everywhere. So if you're playing by yourself, there you go. And especially if you're playing with comms, then I mean, you can probably figure out where where it's at right now, you know, where the killer's at, because someone's telling you, hey, by the way, I'm over here, you know. So let's actually do, oh, wait a minute, let's actually hold on. We're actually gonna first, let's rank technician first. Technician, like I said, has a very nice little niche, but the thing is though, is that when you start playing the game more and more, I feel like you're not gonna need technician anymore. But if you're just starting out, yeah, I would say run technician, right? So I actually personally want to put it at D tier, and I completely understand if people actually are still using it to this day, even after having hundreds of hours playing it, because it actually is a good perk, you know, if you're doing a complete gen build. Absolutely, 100% right there. And then this one right here, which I think botany knowledge, right? Now botany knowledge increases the healing speed. I think this is also very useful as well. But the thing is though, I have a controversial take about it. Healing, I thought healing was really important. It is, but I feel like there's a lot of killers that kind of counter it, where to the point it just seems like there's no point of actually having a healing build. Like the plague is a perfect example that there's just really no reason to have a healing build. I think Bubba, I think a lot of the time maybe there's really no reason to have it to be healed as well, because you know he can just down you in one hit. Pig, yeah, there's some reason to actually do some healing, so you can get some you know, have that healing speed come into effect. Because of that, what I'm trying to say is this, is that it's situational because of what the killer you're facing, right? It really depends on what killers you're facing on this one. Very heavily depends on it, and because of that, I'm going to put it as C tier. Actually, you know what? That's a lie. I'll put it at D tier. You see the auras will drop. Oh, I remember this. Yes. I personally think. Hold on. I remember that now. So basically, if a pallet's drop, you can lift it back up, right? You see the auras of used pallets. Now, I get it. It's super situational. Because sometimes the killer might just break the pallet anyways, but I think you might get value out of it. I'm actually gonna put it B tier, but probably actually, you know what? You know what? I'm being too generous. I'm being too biased on that one. I think it's C tier is perfect, because I want to put it at B tier, but there are some situations where I found that killers are just breaking their pallets anyways, so they'll just break it, so then you can't even lift it up you can't lift it up, but you can get extreme value out of it, because instead of wasting that resource, you can actually just lift that pallet right back up, and there you go. Let's actually go look for slippery meat. So slippery meat right here, and let's actually talk about self-care too while we're at it, because so slippery meat gives you a chance to get off the hook. I don't like chances to get off the hook. I think that because of that, it's just, to me, in my eyes, that's the worst perk. Because why you want to have a chance to get off the hook? It's not even like a guaranteed chance to compare to like this perk right here. I think a power of deliverance. So in my eyes, I think slippery meat is an F tier. That's one of the worst perks. Self-care, remember what I said? You're just wasting time. F tier, probably the worst perk in the game. Power deliverance is good. It's not a bad perk at all. You know, because you have a 100% chance to get off the hook. So if you want to be the hero of everyone, right? I think that because of that, I think it's a complete, maybe like maybe at the end of C tier right there, because you can save, you know, get yourself off the hook and not actually have someone come after you and come find you and get you. But that is my opinion. Right here, let's actually talk about this one. I think this is, what's the perk's name? What is the perk's name? Yeah. When you unhook a survivor, they won't leave scratch marks or pools of blood, and they gain 10% haste. Babysitter. Babysitter ain't bad, but it's not great either. I don't think it's really the worst up there if you love saving people and that's your whole type of play style. But I mean, you're definitely saving them. I think it's like an E tier, high E for babysitter. I just feel like there's other perks in the game that can probably, and plus the whole idea that borrow time is now built into the game. I mean, chances are the killer's not even going to be chasing after the borrow, like chasing after the person that just got on hook. They might be chasing you instead, or even if even if the killer's seen that, the pool of blood and everything is not going to come into any effect because the killer is going to be tunneling that person because he sees them with their eyes. So I think because of that, I think babysitter is like a high E tier in my opinion. Stakeout, I think stakeout is good. It's very mid. Once again, there's a lot of mid perks, as you can see. Very mid. So if you're in the killer's terror radius, you actually get a token, which will help you out with great skill checks. I think that's cool. So if you want to play a very stealthy survivor, absolutely. But I don't think it's that great. So I'm actually going to put it in C tier for stakeout. Soul Guard. Now let's talk about Soul Guard. Soul Guard is something I need to say this right now. Now by itself, it is not that great of a perk in my opinion. It's not that great. But with the build, with everything around it, absolutely is so freaking good. Especially right now, there's like plenty of builds out there that you can get use of Soul Guard. But perk on its own, it's not that great. So I think personally, Soul Guard is actually really up there right now because of the way that the game is being played right now. Especially like with conviction and everything. Man, there's a lot of ads, man. Get these ads out of here, bro. So with that being said, like I feel like Soul Guard is absolutely A tier as of right now, at the end of A tier because of how broken, not necessarily broken I should say, because it's still being used on its thing, but there's so much build variety with Soul Guard, and I feel like it's actually pretty good. I'm actually might put it in a B tier though. I think maybe Soul Guard might be too high. I'm sorry. I keep down on myself a little bit, but I think that perk is really, really well now because now you have conviction, and conviction is really powerful because now you can just get yourself back up, and that counts as you healing yourself. And then if you have that, you have Soul Guard. Now you can just get protected, and now you can just run away, and making the chase even last longer. So I think Soul Guard is pretty good right now. I'm actually that perk is bothering me, so I'm actually gonna look at what that perk is. Start the trial with 4 tokens. When a chest has already been opened, and consume a token to rummage through it for an item. Yeah, same thing. This is the same type of thing that I was talking about with this perk right here, which is basically like, I think chess is underutilized. I don't think it's really being utilized as much. And because of that, I feel like you can definitely, get use out of it and use the chest. So I think it's a D tier in my eyes. You start the trial with a minus 15 progress penalty for skill checks to heal other survivors. Now, that alone makes me not like the perk, which is why I'm actually thinking it's not that great. But for every successful skill check while healing another survivor, you receive a token up to a maximum of 5 tokens. Each token grants you 15% progress bonus. I just don't like the fact that you start off very weak with this perk. That's actually hurting your team, especially if you just unhook a survivor and now you have to heal them and all that, and then the killer maybe turn around and actually start chasing after you because now they got notified. Well, now you actually didn't heal the survivor because you had a minus 15% penalty, So it's hard for me to actually really like this perk. I'm actually going to put this perk at D tier because there are some situations where maybe you're just you're wasting some time. Now I get it. You might get benefit towards the end game. So maybe there's that, but I'm going to put it at D tier right now. All right. So We'll Make It. I think We'll Make It is a great freaking perk. Great perk. I feel like you can be using it awfully a lot. So if you're doing like a heal build, absolutely you can do that. But the perk on its own is just so good because you unhook the survivor and you're not wasting that much time. You can actually heal that survivor and do it, like just get it going, right? And because of that, I think S tier for will make it is like super super good. The fact that you can just like get that survivor off and heal them so quickly to where you're not wasting any time. You're always actually going to get some use out of it too, because there might be some time like I always get use out of it every game. Every game I play, you're getting use out of it. You're going to be healing someone, right? Spine Chill, worst perk in the freaking game too. I'm actually going to put that right here. So with Spine Chill, sorry. What Spine Chill does is basically if you're looking at the killer and the killer's looking at you, you get a boost. But like, are you really gonna get value out of that? If you're looking at him and he's looking at you, we see each other. He's gonna be coming. I'm gonna get off the generator, so I don't even get that bonus anyways. So it's one of the worst perks in the game too. Resilience. Resilience is also pretty good too if you can't find anybody to heal you. I think because of that resilient, because you're actually, I think you get fast vaulting speed if I'm correct. You actually get repair generators faster. You do pretty much everything 9% faster. I think because of that, I think resilience is probably like an S tier as well, because you're actually getting you're getting use out of it if nobody is actually looking for you. But the thing actually, sorry, maybe not S tier. I apologize. Maybe not S tier, because I would have to admit it is a very high risk, high reward type of thing. I would admit. So maybe I apologize on that, because resilience is good if you're not being chased and you're doing everything. You're doing the whole thing, right? So resilience is an A tier for me in my eyes. So this perk is actually really, really good. The Jill Valentine perk, which basically you start off on 70%. I think saving any time like that is really, really good. I think because of that, I think that's an A tier in my eyes as well, because you can unhook the survivor and he has 70%, so you can heal him really quickly too. But if you don't want to take that perk slot, I mean, like I said, will make it is also really good too. They're both really good. It's just that sometimes if you have like people that are running both of these perks, in my eyes, it's kind of more so damaging in my eyes, because like, how much healing do you necessarily need? You know, how much healing do you necessarily need? But this perk is good if nobody's running will make it, and you just honestly are, you know, really, you know, you want to be healed up as quickly as possible. Let's actually talk about lightweight. So lightweight, actually, if I remember correctly, your scratch marks isn't actually your scratch marks go way faster, which I guess is pretty good. So you have like I think now your scratch marks last like 5 seconds now. In my eyes, I think scratch marks is still good, but I don't think it's like really, really good. I think it's actually in C tier in my eyes. It's very simple, very simplistic perk. No mither on its own is a very, very bad perk. Obviously, if you have builds around it, I know there is a build now that when you go into the basement, you can actually start it off with that, where all generators are now actually a little bit completed, which is actually very helpful for the team. So no mither, you can get use out of that. So I think no mither isn't really the worst perk in the game, but I think it's a straight up E tier though. I don't think it's the worst perk because you can actually get value out of it. This perk right here is probably the worst perk in the game right here too. Not one of the worst perks, I'm sorry. But it is a pretty bad perk though, which is basically when a generator is completed, you actually don't you lose all the scratch marks and everything for a few seconds. But if a killer already sees you and the generator's already completed, then it's like it doesn't really matter anymore, does it? Because I was like, cool, awesome. I mean, it really is like super situational. I think because of that, I think it's E tier in my eyes, because it's so situational with that. Especially if you know, you gotta also think how many times you're getting use out of that, because if a killer is chasing after a survivor, it doesn't really matter if that perk is active. If the killer is actually finding you on a gen and the gen is completed, then you're not getting any use out of that. If the killer is completely lost and doesn't know what to do and you revealed it, then maybe you might get some use out of it. Cool. But then I don't know. I feel like maybe if the killer can't find that generator, then he's just gonna go do another, you know, go to another generator. Because especially if a very good killer, because end game, I feel like end game it doesn't matter. I feel like early game, yeah, it does. Mid game, I think maybe perhaps, Maybe if the generators are not really close to each other that much, maybe, but I think it's E tier. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I think it might be. I was gonna put it at a high F tier, but you might get some use out of it. So you might get some value. When the killer picks up another survivor, background player activates for 10 seconds. When you start running, you gain 50% hits for 5 seconds. This perk can be used while exhausted. This perk causes the exhaustion status effect. I don't really want to say so much about this. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really pick this perk at all, even with custom matches. I'm gonna be honest, I totally forgot this perk even existed. I guess I might actually do a D tier for this one. I feel like unless someone wants to say something and chime in, I feel like you're not gonna get a lot of value out of it. But you know, there you go. Bardic and Inspiration. I think this perk is actually really underrated too. I'm actually gonna put this right there because I don't really. I don't know. I feel like you're not gonna get that much value out of that one. But Bardic Inspiration, I think you would get some value out of it. But it's once again, it's not like the greatest perks of all time, because you actually get you do get like benefits from it if you're playing the guitar and then survivors are working on generators or something, right? So you do get some benefits out of it. So it's rather like 2% repair speed, 4% repair speed, so you might actually get some type of benefit. It's not one of the best perks though at all. That being said, very situational. So you get a 16% healing speed, which is good. But then you also do, you actually do boom totems actually a little bit faster as well, which is kind of situational too. So it's very situational because of that. I think honestly, I'm actually gonna put that at D tier. Bite the Bullet. I think Bite the Bullet is pretty cool too. I think it's kind of underrated as well because you can actually not be grunting when you're healing yourself or grunting at all. So I think because of that, I think it's D tier. So basically, if you're healing yourself, you're not grunting or anything. So if you're actually in that moment right now that you're trying to hide and you want to heal, there you go. This perk right now, if I remember, hold on, before I rank it, because I know this perk is bad because I know the logo, but I'm trying to remember what it does again. The reason why I think that way. There it is. Okay, you have an undeniable capability to sense danger. Get an auditory warning when looking in the direction of the killer in 45-degree cone with a range of 36%. Chance of cooldown 3. Yeah, this perk is stupid. So basically, if you're looking in the direction of the killer, it's the same thing with kind of like spine chill a bit. Same thing. Very bad perk. And also the fact that it's on cooldown makes it even freaking worse, honestly. So these perks are just. I would not. Please don't use any of these perks. Please don't. These perks are so bad that you just don't want to use it. Flashbang though, Flashbang is actually, you get a lot of use out of it though. If you actually know how to use a Flashbang, whether or not if you're pulling it, so if this say the killer actually is taking the survivor out of the locker, that'd be a perfect time to actually use a Flashbang. Use a Flashbang right there, and then you actually will stun the killer and the survivor will just get out. I think, you know, you could be helping out survivors like a lot right there. I think because of that, I think it's completely underrated too. I think that's like a complete B tier, high B tier right there. Oh, there it is, right there. So Sprint Burst, I think, is also a very great exhaustion perk. One of the best exhaustion perks in the game, in my opinion. Basically, you know, you get a Sprint Burst if a killer's going after you, so they have to chase you, and you actually recover that Sprint Burst when you're on the generator, right? Obviously, or walking around, right? But the thing is, though, people have a hard time trying to mastering it, where to put it, when to use it, when to not use it. I think Sprint Burst is right here as an S tier. Complete S tier right now, bro. The first time we deplete an item with charges, see the killer's aura for 8 seconds. Items with charge. Oh, okay. This is actually something, I thought this was something different. Streetwise is also situational. I mean, if you have items, there's a lot of items that you could probably be doing. Like I said, we talked about it. You can run this perk and run this perk too. This actually goes right in the same category right there, because if you actually have an item and you use it, you can see the killer's aura. I think that's also very helpful if the killer is lost. But that being said, I don't think it's actually ranked as a C tier. I think D tier is perfectly where it should be at. I think so. This one is going to be super controversial right here. This perk right here is going to be super controversial because I talked about it, and I just feel like it's not that great of a perk compared to other perks. Perk on its own. So let me actually read it out to you guys so you guys can see what it does. Hold on. Quick Gambit. When you are chased by the killer, see the aura of other survivors. Any survivors repairing a generator gains a 5% repair speed. The perk goes on cooldown for 60 seconds when you lose a health state. This is super situational, and depending on how great the survivor is on looping. Now I get it, let's say that you're really masterful with looping. I talked about this before, I know it, I get it, I understand, but the thing is though, it's just that I don't really see a use out of it because you're already giving use by not even using any perks, but instead buying the time for the survivors. If you're buying time for the survivors, there you go. You don't even need to run this perk. I mean, if you have, like I talked about it before, if one of the survivors is using Prove Thyself, one of the survivors are probably, having resilience and having 9% right there. It's kind of like, this is how my mindset works. If you're overdoing something, right, then it ends up becoming useless. Hopefully that makes sense. So if you ever overdoing something, it doesn't work anymore. For an example, let's say right now, hypothetically, let's say that you're in a Swift lobby right now. You are actually with a team with your friends, right? A perfect example of this is that if you had Resurgence, but then you have someone that actually had a heal build, right? So now you just kind of did over healing for no reason, to the point that it just ends up not being helpful at all. You're not really helping the team. And that's kind of how I view Quick Gambit a bit, because like if everybody is like doing generators, cool, it's a cool perk. It's a cool perk in theory. It's a cool perk, but the thing is though, is that I feel like you're not going to get much use out of it though. Even if you're on the chase with the survivor for too long, a good killer will just run away at that point because maybe you're taking too much time from him. Especially if generators were popping because of it, they doesn't matter anymore. They're just going to leave now. I just think the whole situation is just that it's not really that. It's not as great as people think it is. I think it's extremely overrated. I think personally it's like at a very E tier, at the end of E tier right here. Let's actually see what else we're gonna be doing. I feel like, oh yeah, so this one right here, crouching. I think this one right here is the crouching one, where basically you move faster with crouching. I think this perk is just super situational. I don't even think you should be running it. I think you're just kind of wasting time if you're running it around. I think because of that, I actually want to put it at F tier, because it just seems like, I don't know, taking a perk slot just for you to crouch faster, it just seems kind of useless to me. I mean, I mean, maybe you guys can explain to me on that. It just seems kind of useless. So this perk just allows you to crouch faster and move faster while crouching, for clarification. But you know what, let me actually make sure, let me double check though, just to make sure that I'm reading it. While crouching, you have 100% haste. Yeah, so there you go. It's a very simple perk. You move faster while crouching. I think, oh no, doesn't really make that much sense to me. I feel like you don't get that much value out of it. This actually, this is not happening. This is also a very awful perk in my eyes. Very awful. I think this is actually going to be an F tier because you're not even really getting that much value out of it either. Actually a little bit higher because maybe you can actually be running stakeout. Actually this is one of the worst perks right there. This is worse too. But yeah, this is not happening. I think it's just not a great perk either because you're only increasing it by a very little. So it makes great skill checks better, but you have to be injured. Why? Just run resilience. Resilience is better. This is just awful. Awful perk. Awful. I do not like it. Laura Croft right here. She makes the vault speed. Hold on. Let me actually read it word for word because that perk is extremely, extremely good. I've seen people freaking running that perk and it is really annoying. But I have to admit, it is a great freaking perk. Your fast vaults are 20% faster. This perk goes on cooldown for 30 seconds after performing a fast vault. I think this perk is actually extremely like awesome right here. The fact that you could be fast vaulting, and I believe the cooldown actually can be happening even when the killer is chasing after you. So if it's actually, surprisingly enough, if it ends, happens in like 30 seconds, right? If you're above that, I think because of that, I think this is actually an A tier right here as well. It's a really good perk. I'm gonna be honest, it's super good. This one's basically, if you're the last survivor standing, you can actually get aura. Not that type of aura where you're looking freaking cool and sexy. I'm talking about the aura that you get to see, like you get to know where the hatch is if you're actually in a certain area, which is actually super helpful. It's super situational. I actually will put it on E tier. I don't really pick it very much, and I mean, I don't pick it at all, honestly, but I can see some value out of it where you can actually see it going there. First is tenacity. In dire situations allow you to, while in the dying state, have 50% haste and recover and crawl at the same time. Grants of pain while in the dying state reduced, but yeah, I don't really like this perk. Yeah, this one, tenacity, I don't really like this perk. I think this perk is completely like useless in my eyes too. So I'll put it at F tier as well. I don't think there's really, you'll get much use out of it, because you're in a dying state. I don't really, it doesn't make sense because you're only in the dying state for like so long. I guess you can partner that up with a few other things, I guess. Built to last. After hiding inside a locker for 10 seconds with a depleted item in hand, 99% of its charge are refilled. Each use of built to last reduces the amount of charge refilled by 30%. I think the fact that if you're having items that actually, making it last longer, I think that's pretty cool. I think I'm actually gonna rank it actually a C tier because like there's so many items that you could possibly do in it, man. Like it's just ranking those items here. Sorry, pretty much like having an item last longer is awesome. That's all you need to know. Having an item last longer is awesome. Like if you have a toolbox, oh my god, man, you can have that item last a long time. You can have it last a while. So this perk is actually really good, where basically if you're healing a survivor, you get actually percentage of healing as well. And then if you're healing 2 survivors, you can actually just heal yourself from healing other people. And because of that, I think this is actually an A tier in my eyes as well. Actually, I'm going to move Prove Thyself to S tier. I'm not going to lie. I've been looking at it a lot. I'm going to move it to S tier. I don't care anymore. That's an S tier now. Because I do think that perk is pretty good. I understand that it's better to actually work on all gens together, but if you're actually even towards the end game, Prove Thyself actually activates. So I feel like you will always get some value. You get value out of it every game. After finishing healing another survivor, gain the endurance status effect for 10 seconds. While affected by deep wound, you have 3% haste. I think I might have talked about this maybe, where this perk actually isn't really bad. I think it's super situational. You get the haste thing, so I honestly think this is like that applies for everything. I think there might be another perk, but it does the obsession. It's kind of like the same thing as blood pack and then this perk as well. I think it might be the same situation. I'm actually gonna put that in C tier. Oh, and let's actually talk about this one too. So I talked about this before. So no mither and this perk right here. I think this one allows all generators to actually get like, I think like a little bit done, right? But then you actually be put in like a second stage, so you can never heal past that. I think they're on the same wavelength as no mither in this. Now it's good on paper because it helps out the team tremendously. But the thing is though, if you die, does it really help out the team that much now? Because now you're 3 survivors. Chances are 1 survivor is going to be chased, and now 2 survivors are doing gens. So it's kind of like it kind of like evens itself out unless you are so good that you're not dying, right? Because if you're not getting tunneled and you're not dying, then it's really helpful. Now I get it. It helps you out throughout the whole game. But the thing is though, it's like what will help you out more is also being alive too, you know. Because if you die instantly, right? Like I have a viewer X-Men who basically runs his perks, but the problem is though is that if he gets off the hook and then he dies immediately right after, and then he's out of the game, but we have like 4 gens left to do, we're still so early on in the game that it doesn't matter anymore, because now there's going to be 2 survivors now on gens. One of us is going to be Chase, because there you go. And then if he gets unhooked, then that means we have another survivor that has to go and unhook him. Now there's only 1 survivor doing a gen. So because of that, I feel like E tier is perfectly where it's at. Seek hook auras in 56 meter radius from the pickup spot. If another survivor is being carried, scourge hooks are shown in yellow. Unlocks the ability to sabotage a hook without a toolbox. Sabotaging a hook without a toolbox takes 2.3 seconds. Sabotaging action. Actually, no, it's not that bad. Actually, it's not that bad. I think sabotaging a hook without a toolbox is actually pretty helpful. So I'm actually going to put that in D tier a bit. Any survivor within the boon totem's range gain 3% haste. This effect. Oh yeah, this is so stupid. This dark. Okay, so you get actually a 3% haste, but you have to put it. It's for a boon totem. It is so awful because now you gotta waste time to actually put a boon totem down, and then you also get a 3% haste if you put that boon totem down. It's just so stupid. I mean, it's probably one of the worst boon totems in the game. I think this is actually an F tier right here. This one I actually seen people run that, so hold on. I actually seen that. Press and hold the ability button near adult totem. All survivors within the donut range recover 100% faster and can completely recover from the dying state. This is also really good. This is also really good. To be honest with you, like, this is probably an A tier as well because it's such a good perk in my eyes. Because you're recovering like way faster. I'm gonna say that right now. You're recovering faster. Iron Will is okay. It makes you grunts. Actually, you know, you can't be heard when you're in pain. Since there's the pain thing going on right now, I think that's fine. I'm actually gonna put it in. Oh no, not there. I'm actually gonna put it in probably C tier as well. Once you're unhooked or escape from the hook off the record, while off the record, your order will not be shown to the killer. Grunts of pain and cause. I think this is actually really good. I think this is actually extremely good. I think this deserves to be in like a B tier personally. I think it's super underrated. I feel like people don't use that perk a lot. It's like super underrated in my eyes. Windows of opportunity. Now, I thought this perk was underrated, but I was corrected by everyone in my comment section saying that this perk is not underrated. That it's actually like really picked out a lot. I think this perk is like extremely like an S tier perk right now, since you can see like palettes, you can see windows, you can see everything, you can see everything. This perk is absolutely amazing, bro. This is a complete S tier. I love this perk. Run this perk if you really want to win. If you're running, honestly, if you're running Prove Thyself, Will Make It, this, and then one Exhaustion perk, it is so powerful. You are going to get, like, that is a very powerful build right there, in my eyes at least. After being unhooked, Blood Rush activates for the next 60 seconds. While suffering from the exhaustion status effect, press the active ability button to recover 1 exhaustion. Oh, wait a minute. I think this perk is also pretty powerful too, because this one can actually partner up with Sprint Burst or Dead Hard, and you can actually make it extremely powerful, man. This is actually a pretty powerful perk too, so I'm actually going to put that one over there. Forgot that perk even existed. I am not going to lie. But when I see it happens, when I'm facing against good survivors, oh my god, that perk is just so freaking annoying. It is so annoying to go up against. This one right here, Jane actually does where basically she gets out of the lockers and she actually stuns the killer. This is actually really good if you actually want to do that, if you're the type of person that goes in the locker a lot. So I think we'll put it actually at low and B tier in my eyes. Low and B tier. Press the hold ability button, 1 near adult or hexstone to bless it and create a boon totem. Soft chimes ring out in 24. Survivors inside your boon totem's range see the aura of all chests and all generators in blue. If you lit a boon totem, you cleanse or bless totems 10% faster. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad. I'm actually gonna put that in C. It's not bad. I actually used it, I think, once in a custom match. Yeah, it's not bad. I don't think it's like the worst perk. I mean, I'm just saying, like, all I can say, it's not bad. I probably wouldn't use this bone totem, but I'm gonna rank it at D. Actually, I might rank it at E, to be honest with you, because I don't think it's like the greatest bone totem, but I mean, I can see it. Hold on, let me see it again. Does it? Yeah, you cleanse or bless totems 10% faster. I guess that's helpful. And you see the all generators in blue, which I guess so. Cool. Breakout. You kick into high gear when someone's in trouble, inspiring them to take over any obstacle. When within 5 meters of a carry survivor, you gain 10% haste status effects. The carry survivor wiggle speed is increased by 25%. Absolutely. I think this perk is super situational if you want to be like an absolute hero of the day. If you want to be a hero, man, absolutely go for it. I think that's a C tier right there as well. That one. Press the hold ability button. Yep, okay. Any survivor within the boon totem's range will have their scratch marks and auras hidden to the killer. This effect lingers for 4 seconds after leaving the boon totem's range. Actually, you know what? That perk actually isn't that bad if they're having a hard time. If the killer's having a hard time tracking, that might be a C tier right there. If you actually place a boon totem perfectly well. Let's actually take a look at that perk right there. You cleanse totems 20% faster. After cleansing a totem, you see the aura of the first totem from you for 14 seconds, and you get an additional 25% stacking speed for bonusing to cleansing totems for the remainder of the trial. I'm going to be honest, E tier is just for cleansing totems. It's not really, I mean, I guess so if you actually are, you know, because killers are not really using that much hex, but I mean, absolutely, if you really want to do that one, there you go. Oh, wait, is this Deja Vu? Oh my god, so Deja Vu is an S tier as well, because you can actually see generators and you can actually get a 6% boost in speed in repairing generators. So absolutely, it is really, really good. Okay, I'm gonna move thyself back to A because it's still good. I just like maybe A really is fitting it, because I'm finding these perks right here, they're just like, okay, maybe it ain't so bad, you know. Let's take a look. When empty-handed, hold the ability button 2 to unlock your full aura radiant potential for up to 10 seconds. You see the auras of exit gate, switch, his generators, hooks, chest, and the hatch within a 64-meter range. Maybe I'm gonna actually put it at B right there. I seen someone actually talk to me about that and thought that was really good. Leaf, I think right here is also an S tier as well. I think it's a very good exhaustion perk. There's a lot of windows, and you're gonna get some value out of it, so you can actually a very good exhaustion perk. Sprint burst, I think it's the best exhaustion perk, but this is also pretty good too, so you can jump over the window and actually go faster. Oh, this one right here, Chemical Trap. Yeah, Chemical Trap is also good too if you actually want to spend more time on it, because it does put them in a position where they are most likely going to break the pallet. So I'm actually going to say A. It gives you even more breather room. So basically you put a bomb on the pallet and then there you go, and then you leave. They're going to break the pallet and then you get more of a distance. More distance is good. For each injured, hook, or dying survivor, increase the speed of your healing and unhook actions 20%. It's okay. Not gonna lie. I mean, I'm gonna put that probably in D. When a generator is complete, the aura of the killer is revealed to you for 3 seconds. Whenever a killer's aura is revealed for a specific amount of that time is increased by 2 seconds. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. If you don't know where the killer is, but to be honest with you, I think that perk is actually extremely bad, because, like, you know, like I said, you kind of get an idea where the killer is located at. But the simple fact of it is that do you have like something displaying to you on, you know, the left side? So I feel like F tier is actually going to be where it's going to be at. Let's actually rank Metal a Man, because I remember this perk. This perk used to be good. Maybe it still is good, actually. Hold on. Once activated, the next occasion that would put you into a dying state from the injured state is ignored. The next time you heal back to full health, your aura will be revealed to the killer when you are further than 16 meters from the killer. Metal Man will deactivate the next time you're put into a dying state. Increase your chances to be the killer's obsession. I guess so. If you... honestly, I don't really like that, to be honest with you. Maybe that just isn't my playstyle. I'm actually going to put that in E. That just isn't my playstyle, because you have to take 3 hits for protecting someone. So maybe, there you go, you might get some use out of it. There you go. But I do like this perk right here awfully a lot, especially you can combo it very well, which is actually flip-flop. I think that's flip-flop, correct? Hold on, let me see, because I don't want to be ranking it completely wrong. That's flip-flop. Yeah, flip-flop. While in a dying state, 50% of your recovery progression is converted into the Wiggles progression when you're packed up by the killer up to a maximum of 50% total wiggle speed. Same thing applies when I was talking about, which is basically like, you know, the killer has to be slugging you, and if the killer's not slugging you and he's picking you up, then it doesn't really matter, does it? Because it's like you're pretty much there. So it actually goes right next to this perk, because you get a 35% dying recovery speed, and then this perk right here generates that to a 50% wiggle speed. But then sometimes there's always a hook next to it too, so it doesn't really matter that much. So I would say, like, these perks can work out very well. There's also a perk in the game which we will run into, where basically you can actually just drop the pallet on the killer, which I think is extremely powerful. So there are some builds that you can do with that too. When you do a fast locker exit, you suffer from the exhaustion status effect for 20 seconds. When you gain exhausted, you see the killer's aura for 2 seconds. E. E tier. The vault and hide action, noise detection, and audio range is reduced by 100%. The effect only, you do not make potential energy being ranked yet. What is potential energy? Let's actually see. While repairing, press the active ability button to gain tokens instead of repairing the generator up to a maximum of 20 tokens. While you have at least 1 token, press the active ability button to consume all tokens and repair the generator for 1% per token speed. That's actually really powerful, I feel like. Where do you think that should be ranked at? I'm gonna leave it to you, X-Men. Where should that be ranked at? Potential energy. I'll put it right here then. That's where I feel like it might be at. C tier is probably like a very good one. There's just so many freaking perks in this game. There's so many that it's kind of hard to rank every last one of them right now. But I do find this perk extremely underrated too, which I'm actually going to put it in C. So in case you don't know what this perk does, I'm gonna actually read it because I don't want to say something wrong, but it's actually a C tier. After exiting the locker, you see the auras of the closest generator and all survivors leave no pools of blood and make no grunts of pain for 30 seconds. Not only that, when you hide in the locker, you make no grunts of pain, because now you actually do make grunts of pain now, and the killer can actually just hear you, which is so freaking annoying. But it's a C tier in my eyes. That is a C tier. Then we also have this perk too. Anytime you are removed from a hook, escape, or save, the hook breaks and the killer's aura is shown to you for 6 seconds. A hook broken by this perk takes 180 seconds to respawn. That's pretty cool. I might actually put that in C tier, because having a hook break is actually pretty helpful. Buckle up. Unlock the potentials and 1 aura's reading ability while healing a survivor in the dying state. You both can see the killer's aura. When completing a healing a survivor from the dying state to injure, the healed survivor gains 50% haste for 5 seconds and leaves no scratch marks during the time. Buckle up, I think, is okay too. I think that's okay. Buckle up is alright. I think it's just this type of it's just super situational again, you know. Very situational. But the thing is, though, I feel like I'm gonna put that at D tier, because maybe if it really involves a lot of slugging if the killer is slugging a lot, you know. And then you're saying that the next one is actually mirrored. Oh. Press the ability button. The perk activates after completing a total of 20% worth of repairs on generators. Press the ability button to when the next to a generator, totem, chest, or exit gates to spawn a static illusion that lasts for 6. Oh, you know what? I actually really like that perk. When I was using it in customs, or when I actually see it too being used, I thought that perk was actually really freaking great. So because of that, I think personally I'm actually going to put that in B tier. I seen you actually used it too. I thought it was actually quite helpful. And then even when I'm playing by myself and I'm playing with some randoms, I am like surprised at how useful you get. Actually, I'm going to put that in C tier. Put that in C tier. I still get a lot of use out of it though. I think it's still pretty good. But maybe sometimes I feel like I'm like underrating or overrating something, you know? So it's like, that's probably my biggest issue, is that sometimes I feel like I'm overrating, underrating, not rating. Each time a generator is complete, a dark sense activates. While dark sense is active, the killer's entering a 24-meter radius around you reveals their aura for 10 seconds. Once the aura duration is burned, I guess so. It's okay. It's one of those type of things right now. I'm going to actually put it in E. Life has taught you the importance of friendship, which has given you strength. While you're on the hook in the struggle phase, camaraderie activates. If another survivor is within 60 meters of you while camaraderie is activated, the hook timer is paused for 34 seconds. Very situational again. Very, very situational. Gonna put it at probably at E tier. Leader, be nice. What is leader again? This one makes you just heal like faster, right? You're able to organize a team to cooperate more efficiently, increase other survivors' healing, sabotage, unhooking, cleansing, opening exit gates, and chest unlocking speeds by 25% when they are with an 8-meter range from you. Survivors can only be affected by one leader effect at a time. The effect persists on other survivors for 15 seconds after leaving the leader's effective perk range. I think it's E tier. Personally, that's actually pretty, I feel like that's pretty generous, because I feel like you're still getting a lot of use out of it, like extreme amount of use out of it. But I don't think it's like, it's not the worst perk, because of like compared to all the F tiers, because the F ones are actually legitimately hurting the team like tremendously. So I mean, my opinion on that. After you finish healing another survivor while being healed by another survivor, press the ability button to gain the broken status effect. After 60 seconds, you become healthy. While being healed by another, press the ability. I guess so. If the killer is coming, maybe, I guess maybe you can get some value out of that, but I don't know. Then you have to wait a whole minute. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that's an E tier, really. I mean, unless someone wants to like clarify, maybe I'm like, I don't remember actually me using that perk ever really on that. Like, unless someone wants to clarify what that, if I misread it, but I don't know. When you're shining a flashlight, you gain 50% haste. When you successfully blind the killer, they also gain 20% hinder. By the way, that perk is quite fine. This is actually really good. If you're really good at blinding survivors, man, I feel like that's an A tier personally. If you're really good at blinding survivors, it just stops you from needing to heal, which I guess so. If I'm reading that incorrectly, I'm sorry. It just feels like I'm a little confused by it on the fact of the being used there. Like, so you're to gain the broken status, broken prevents first from being healed. So I guess so. Maybe if I'm wrong, my bad. It just doesn't seem that great. I'm actually gonna put it at the bottom D tier on that one. I guess so. Now we got a guy looking in the chest. Wicked. Let's actually check it. Your self-unhook attempts in the basement always succeed. When you're unhooked or unhooking yourself, you see the killer's aura. Oh, wow. Very situational, though. I mean, to be honest with you, I personally don't see the killer really hooking me in the basement most of the time, unless I'm really, really close by. But I get it. I know you might get some killers that are actually doing that. I actually don't really. I don't think it's a bad perk. I think it's like it's probably an E tier perk because I just personally don't see it where killers on taking you all the way down to the basement. I don't really see it a lot. I see it actually when you're out in the open all the time, you know. But that's just me. Fog wise. If you're countless years in the fog, you've seen it all, and when you're focused, you can remember most of it too. Hitting a great skill check while repairing reveals the crew's aura to you for 6 seconds. Oh. It's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I shoot. You know what? I feel sorry. There's so many perks in this game. My apologies, man. I must have not really been seeing that. I'm actually gonna say that is, that might be A tier or even B tier. I'm gonna put it on a high B tier, honestly. I feel like I'm very generous with that. I mean, I feel like I personally get a lot of. I would get like, a couple times a great skill check, and you might see the aura of the killers. Maybe I see that probably. Actually, let's put it at the end of B tier. Put it at the end of B tier. Where's that freaking chest with the guy with the chest, man? There it is. While you're holding an empty toolbox, scavenger activates. Succeeding a great skill check while repairing gains 1 token up to 5. When you reach a maximum tokens, lose all tokens and automatically recharge your toolbox to full. Then your generator repair speed is 50% flow. Ooh. I don't really like anything that makes generators repair speed slow. I might actually put that on E right there. This perk right here is very niche down perk. It's very niche. It's for really to help out beginners. It's like basically, if I remember correctly, I'm going to find it though. It's basically when another survivor messes up, they don't actually get that mess up. So basically, you start the trial with 3 tokens and gain token up to a maximum of 5 for every great skill check. When another survivor fails a normal skill check, 1 token is consumed and their failed skill check becomes a good skill check. Additionally, their aura is revealed to you for 6 seconds. It's very niche down. Very niche down, personally. I think because of that, I think it's a C tier. It really does help out. Even the greatest of the good players can actually, probably use it. You can totems 25% faster. I thought we ranked this. Did we not rank that? I thought we ranked that. Your cleanse totems 25% faster. After cleansing a totem, you see the aura of the first totem. Yeah. We're going to actually rank this. I think, like I said, it's E tier. Not really that great. The growing odds of a successful escape will fill you with hope and gives you wings. As soon as the executes are powered, you gain a 7% haste and status effect. It triggers, right at the end. It triggers right there at the end. I feel like because of that, I mean, it goes literally right next to adrenaline, personally. Right next to it. I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad perk. It's just that, you're only really relying it right at the end. But yeah, I mean, that's just seeing that right now. After performing a rush vault in a chase, this perk activates. While this perk is activated, your rush vaults are silent for up to 6 seconds and successfully perform a rush vault. During that time, resets the timer. The perk goes on cooldown for 45 seconds. I'm actually going to put that in E. Now, the reason why I'm putting that in E is because sometimes, even when you're in a chase, sometimes it's actually beneficial to do a slow vault if you're in a very powerful loop spot. Super powerful loop spot, which I think they should fix, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Basically, in the Stranger Things map, the laboratory, there is a very powerful loop section where basically if you do a slow vault over, you actually will not get that window, blocked. But I don't know. I mean, it's my opinion though. I feel like A tier is where it's at right here. I feel like I should know that perk. Hold on, dance with me. When performing a rush vault or leaving a locker in a sprint, you leave no scratch marks for 5 seconds. Dance with me, it's okay, I guess. If you want to leave no scratch marks. Light-footed. When you're healthy, this perk activates. Your running footsteps are silent. This perk goes on cooldown for 10 seconds after a rush action. Done the bird one. Which one? I think I ranked that pretty low, didn't I? Is this this one right here? That one? I'm actually gonna put this one in probably D tier too. What is it? What is it called? This perk activates when you're injured. Skill checks appear 10% more frequently when repairing or healing and appear in random places. The penalty of missing a skill check is reduced by 50%. Oh. That's actually... I mean, I guess so if you're really, really good. I'll put that in D if you're really, really good at that. INCAN. Well, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You mean like Boone? I mean that one? I'm not too sure. Interacting with a locker while sprinting will trigger a loud noise notification at your location and cause you to leave no scratch marks for 5 seconds. You no longer enter lockers while sprinting, and while this perk is active, deception can only be triggered once every 15 seconds. It's okay. This one's alright. I don't know. I feel like I know that one. When a generator is completed, the ores will generate chest and toes within 64 revealed to you for 20 seconds. I think because of this, because of deja vu, I mean, I feel like this is just not really that good anymore, personally. I mean, it's not really, I mean, I guess that there you can get use out of it if you want to do cleanse totems. So maybe, if you want to cleanse totems. Distortion. Distortion starts with 1 token. When your aura would be read, distortion activates and consumes a token. For the next 12 seconds, your aura and scratch marks will not be shown to the killer for each 15 seconds and chase regain. Okay, so this perk is actually really, really good. I actually think this perk is actually ain't so bad. I'm actually gonna put it maybe actually in a B tier. Oh. When in the basement near the circle, press the ability button to begin the invocation. Invocation takes 60 seconds. Other survivors will see your aura during this and can join an ongoing interaction. Once the invocation is completed, you become injured and gain the broken status effect for the rest of the trial. When a survivor is in the terror radius and the killer scares a crow, their aura is revealed to all survivors for 2 seconds, completing the invocation. It's the same thing with this one. It's the same thing with that, man. Like, except for I actually find that a bit worse, though. It sounds good on paper, but I just don't like the fact that you're in an injured status. Like you're injured, right? You're injured, and then I guess so you can see the aura of the killer, which is pretty powerful. I think they're like literally neck and neck in my opinion. Neck and neck. Like this is pretty powerful, but if you lose the survivor pretty quickly, it just becomes useless. Same thing with this one. If you lose the survivor pretty quickly, it ends up becoming useless. Now, if you actually combine both of them, actually, I don't know if you can. If you can combine both of them, this is pretty powerful, but on its own, I feel like I really feel like if you go down quickly, unless there's something else that of course you can have builds to up it up a little bit more. But the thing is though, if you lose a survivor, now they're down 3, and then so killer chases after, now you're down 2. Now if that freaking survivor is going to get on a hook, now you're going to be down 1 survivor only completing the generator. That is just really not that great, which is why I've actually put it on E. Yeah, it's still sight, which I guess so, but then it's like, okay, I lose a person now too. Because honestly, I feel like most of the time, I feel like from my experience, I know I'm the greatest gamer of all time, but from my experience, if I'm playing killer and someone runs that, they end up being the first one to die. Like I end up killing them very quickly. And then they end up, I would be honest with you, I would say like maybe like 8 out of 10 they end up losing. The only time that those 2 points that they don't losing is because maybe a survivor is just extremely good at looping me. Diversion, while crouched, emotional throw a pebble, which creates a distraction for the killer and at a distance of 20 meters. I think honestly, I really don't really like this very much. I'm gonna put that in E. Creating distraction, I guess so. When you heal another survivor for each hook state, they have a heal 50% heal 50% faster and gain a 3% progress for succeeding in great skill checks. Do no harm. Probably D tier. I think I like that one. Hold on. Never mind. Maybe I actually think so. Basically, while running, press the active ability button to run with the knees high for 0.5 seconds and then gain 25% hits for 2 seconds. It's very it could be very bad or it could be very good because you can either become exposed for 12 seconds or gain 25 per haste for 2 seconds. Or scream but nothing happens, or gain a random rare item with random add-ons. I think personally, like, this perk is like, you know, if you really love that type of style, I think it does go in the C tier though. Still sight. After not moving for 2 seconds, this perk activates. Until you start moving, you see the aura of the killer as well as all generation chests within 24 meters. Yeah, I would say that's pretty good if you want to stop moving so you can actually get, if you want to read the whole situation. I think that might be actually, no, not that one. It might be actually a C tier. Wake up. Unlocks the potential on one's aura reading ability. Once all generators are powered, exit gates are revealed to you. While opening the exit gates, reveal your aura to other survivors. While this perk is active, open the exit gates for each survivor still alive. Probably E. Not gonna lie, I feel like we're not getting any more S's right now. What do you think is an S tier perk right now, man? I don't think we're getting any more S's right now. I think all the S's are already up. When you take a protection hit while healthy, all other survivors within 12 meters gain a 25% haste. Did you do finesse? Yeah, I did finesse already. I put that one at A. Because that is a very, very powerful perk, but I feel like it's holding it back just a tiny bit. Protection hits, once again, I'm going to put that probably at a D. If you like doing that, go for it. Did you do Deja Vu? Yeah, Deja Vu is S tier. When the killer causes another survivor to lose a health state, the killer's aura is revealed to you for 10 seconds. Oh, yeah, Inner Focus. This is an awful perk. Awful, awful, awful perk. Is that the same logo? Yeah, it's an awful perk. Don't run that. That's an F tier right there. Awful perk. Don't run that. Don't run that. Awful perk. When they are, so once per trial, as long as you're not on death hook, press the ability button 2 in front of a hook survivor to unhook them. When they are unhooked, they lose 1 hook state and you gain 1 hook state. You also scream, wait, what? Wait. Once per trial, as long as you're not on a death hook, press the ability button in front of a hook survivor to unhook them. When they are unhooked, they lose 1 hook state and you gain 1 hook state. I mean, I guess so. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's pretty. That's an interesting perk right there. That is an interesting perk. Moments of glory. When you the perk activates after you open and rummage through 2 chests. When you become injured, you also become broken. Automatically heal 1 health state after 60 seconds, and this perk deactivates. This effect is canceled if you're in the dying state. This perk will not activate if you're already. So shoulder of the burden. I thought that is actually really interesting. So I guess if you really want to do that, I think that might be a C tier, honestly. Might be C. And then for this one right here, I think this is also a C tier. Man, there's a lot of freaking perks, man. Okay, so low profile. When you become the last survivor standing, this perk activates, hide your scratch marks, pools of blood, and grunts of pain caused by injuries. Don't really like that perk, really. I don't. I just think, like, if you really like doing that, I'm actually gonna put that in F tier, to be honest with you. Lucky break activates anytime you're injured. While lucky break is active, you won't leave any trails of blood or scratch marks for a total while healthy for each 1 second spent healing another survivor. Increase lucky break's duration by 1. Lucky break actually ain't so bad. So if you were going to use lucky break right here. I think lucky break is actually a complete like C tier though. After unlocking a rummage through 2 chests, press the ability button 1 for 4 seconds next to a broken pallet to build a fragile pallet. Oh, that's actually a really good perk. Unfortunately, I actually don't have that, but I would actually rank that. I would actually rank that at A because that actually is really helping out the resources. So that's actually a really good perk. I would rank that if I had that. I think Rick, Grimes, and Michonne's perks are actually pretty good and actually changed up on how the game is being played right now. Reassurance. When within a 6-meter radius around a hook survivor, use the active ability button to pause their struggle progress for 30 seconds. I actually like that because you're actually pausing them. So I actually enjoyed that. I think that is actually a C tier. I don't know where that perk is right there for them. I don't know where that one is. The 2 people that are just like there. I don't know where that one is. Bro, I am freaking hot right now, bro. I am hot. Oh, man, it's hot. It is hot. Oh, there it is. No one left behind. 100% bonus action speed when healing and unhooking other survivors. When unhooking a survivor, increase the haste they gain by 10%. That's actually fine. I mean, if you really want to run that, I think that's a D tier. We're seeing that perk a lot being showed up. You have inherent the ability to hear the dead, and now the dead warn you of danger. After stunning the killer by any means, your scratch marks, pools of blood, and grunts of pain are hidden for 7 seconds. I mean, if they're seeing you and they actually know your location, you didn't read the 2 people one. You didn't read a lot? Let me see. It is inconceivable to leave someone behind. Once the exit gates are powered, you gain the following effects: 100% bonus action speed when healing and unhooking other survivors. When unhooking a survivor, increase the haste they gain by 10%. The orbs of all survivors are revealed to you. Yeah, still, I think it's... Yeah. Still D. Still D tier. See, still D. Probably at the end of actually D tier, to be honest with you. Or even, Where is it? Yeah, it's probably like right here. Yeah, still D. Alright. It's still D tier there. Okay. Yeah, parental guidance. This one's actually okay, I guess. If you really are trying to juke them and do some mind games with it, I think that is some C tier. Plot twists. When you're using plot twists to enter the dying state, you leave no blood pools. Power struggle still left. Power struggle. When you're in the dying state, you see the auras of available pallets while being carried by the killer, reaching. Oh yes, yes, yes. So power struggle is really, really good. So if you have power struggle along with like these, flip flop or even like other perks that actually go with it, power struggle is so freaking good. I actually think it's S tier personally. Power struggle is really, really freaking good, especially if they're slugging you and everything. So if you have that type of, maybe I'm being too generous again, but A tier with it. I think the power struggle is really good if you're going the whole thing right there. You know what? I feel like hold on. I feel like I'm being a little bit too biased though, because this. Being a little bit too biased. I think that's what I'm doing right now. Being a little bit too biased. I think maybe it should be going with the C tier and actually along with this too, because they're all kind of, they work together when they're all together, and that only applies to if the killer is actually on there. Maybe, and also, I mean, if you actually, you should be buy a pallet anyway, so when he comes picks you up. There you go. When retrieving an item from chest, there's a 100% chance that I think I ringed it. Did I not rank that? Yeah, I already ranked that. I put that in D. I already ranked that. Longer potential ones where so basically, like I'm starting to notice that there is a lot of chest perks. But every time I see a chest perk, I always keep thinking like, man, dude, like you can definitely make a build out of it. You really, really, really can. Like you absolutely can. I think if you had, because I still stand by it that I think going through chests is like not being utilized awfully a lot. And the fact that you can do like a whole build with it, I think that's pretty cool. I just feel like chests are not being utilized a lot. I know, for example, I don't use chests a lot. But the thing is that when I do, and if I was running these perks, I had like everything in my disposal. I can be getting more stuff from it, whether it be like a toolbox, a flashlight, or something. So, like it is actually not that bad of a perk. Wait, what the fuck? So open hand and strengthens the potential of you and your team's aura reading abilities increase. So yeah, I mean aura reading. Okay, so open-handed, this perk is actually not so bad if you actually want to use it with Bond. Now early on in the stream we were talking about that. So if you had empathy, I know you had that, but if you had open-handed with Bond, it can increase it even further. I think that's actually, but you have to it takes up 2 perk slots with that if you want to actually have better aura reading. Whenever another survivor is injured, they can see your aura. You heal other survivors 35% faster. That actually, I am not gonna lie, that one's actually not so bad. That actually probably gets put in the same position with that one right there. Boom. Probably a little bit better. After stunning the killer with the pallet, gain 50% haste for 4 seconds, causing exhaustion status effect for 20 seconds. Oh, so if you're stunning the killer, so yeah, when your runner makes a move, you seize the opportunity. After stunning the killer with the pallet, gain 50% haste for 4 seconds. Cause the exhaustion status effect for 20 seconds. I think this is actually pretty good. It's not bad at all. Wait, what's the logo? Yeah, it's a logo. It's not bad. I honestly think, personally, I think it's, I think it might be an S. I might actually do an S right there. Nah, sorry, not an S. The more I think about it, it's not an S. Because you have to really hit the killer. So I don't think it's an S there, but it's good. It's good. It's just compared to these exhaustion perks right here, Sprint Burst, Dead Hard, and even Leth. It's not that great. I think honestly, I will put it right in the middle of A, and I feel like I'm being very generous with that because it's not one of the best exhaustion perks. I wouldn't pick this one compared to the other exhaustions. That's all I'm saying. Stunning the killer with the pallet upgraded your healed items rarity to the next tier, then recharge 75% of the item maximum charge. So that one right here, item base again, but this one actually upgrades the tier. But I'm actually gonna put it right next with all the tier perk items. I'm not gonna lie. I think maybe I might put it in C tier though. I might put it in C, but I might put it at the end of C. I don't know. My opinion on that one. Oh, I already did that one. So, yeah, I think that one's pretty good. I put that one in A tier. I thought that one was pretty good. Because if you're really good with flashlights, absolutely. Pretty good. Whenever another survivor is hooked, you gain 3 tokens. You consume all tokens after a great skill check on a generator. Each token consumed gains a 1% bonus progression for great skill checks when repairing generators, aka fast track. Where do you think fast track should be ranked at? I think fast track should be ranked at, personally, maybe C tier. So we're coming down to the wire here, to the end here. Fixated, you can see your own scratch marks at all times while walking. You have a 20% haste. F that. Fixated, that is an F tier. Don't use that perk. For the people, press the ability button while one healing another survivor without a med kit to instantly heal them from the dying to injure or injure from healthy. You become injured and receive the broken status effect for your 60 seconds to become the obsession. Equipping this perk decreases your chance of being the killer's obsession at the start of the trial. The killer can only be assessed with one survivor at a time. I think that's okay if you want to actually save even more time. But the thing is now is that there's so many perks now in this. Like you have like the Jill's Valentine perk right here now. You have like even Will Make It. Will Make It is also on the S tier. I mean, you have some perks that can already be healing like awfully a lot. So because of that, I feel like just putting them like next to like a heal perk might be beneficial. So maybe like even, oh, not that, maybe even putting it right next to here. So putting in D tier is good because now you can instantly heal them up. But there you go. Lower craft. This perk activates after you complete all the following: unlock a chest, cleanse, or bless a totem. For the rest of the trial, anytime you would scream, reveal the killer's aura for 5 seconds instead. I guess if you really want to partner that up with something, I think that would be absolutely nice. But because of that, I'm actually going to put it on a high D tier because there are some builds that you can do with that to actually run that so you can see them. Hyper focus. You throw yourself entirely into your task and find ways to be more effective. After hitting a great skill check while repelling While repairing or healing, this perk gains 1 token up to 6 tokens. Each token increases the chance of a skill check trigger by 4%. The skill check cursor speed by 4% and the bonus progression for great skill checks by 30% of its best value. The perk loses all tokens. I think this is actually an A tier. I think, or B tier. Maybe like a high B tier. Very good perk in my opinion. So Kindred unlocks the potential in one aura's reading ability. While you are on the hook, all survivors' auras are revealed to all other survivors. If the killer is within a 16-meter range, the killer's aura is revealed to you and all other survivors. While a survivor other than you is on the hook, all other survivors' auras are revealed to you. If the killer is within a 16-meter range of the hook survivor, the killer's aura is revealed to you. So it's an aura reading build, aura reading perk. Good if you're actually playing solo. Amazing, and there you go. So if you want to do that, there you go. Object of Obsession. While your aura is revealed to the killer, the killer's aura becomes visible to you, and you gain a 6% bonus to healing, repairing, and cleansing speed. If you are the obsession, your aura is revealed to the killer for 3 seconds, once every 30 seconds. 12 hours later, and it gets slayed once a day, twice in one day. I think this perk right here, I think it's a D. I don't really like to be revealed awfully a lot. I think maybe an N and the D tier. I just don't really like. I don't really want. Why would I want the killer to reveal my location? It's kind of silly to me. But Metro Man, welcome back, brother. Overcome. When you're injured, you retain the movement speed bonus for 2 seconds. Oh, yeah, okay, so I get that. So when you're injured, you retain the movement speed for 2 seconds. I guess so. I own everyone besides Dracula, Singularity, the Ghoul, or Springtrap. Honestly, you should try to get the Springtrap. I think he's worth it. He really is fun. I'm actually going to do like maybe C tier with this perk because, yes, it makes it last longer for the chase, and you get 2 seconds longer. I think it's okay. I don't think it's really good. I think C tier is where it's at right now. Overzealous. Fighting back against the ravage motivates and inspires you. After cleansing or blessing a totem, this perk activates. Your general repair speed is increased by 10%. This bonus is double if you cleanse or bless a hex totem. The perk deactivates when you lose a health state by any means. This is actually not a bad perk. I actually think this perk, it might be at B. Right here. I think it's not a bad perk. Soul Survivor. Every time a fellow survivor is killed. Okay, hold on. Yeah, every time a fellow survivor is killed or sacrificed, gain a token. For each token, your aura cannot be read by the killer within the max range of 24 meters. When you're the last survivor alive, gain 75% action speed when repairing generators. That is a very useless stat right there. Very useless. Because if you're the last one, there you go. Gain a 50% action speed while opening an exit gate or the hatch. Increase your chance of being that. This must be a very old perk. Very outdated perk. I'm not gonna lie. It has to be super outdated. Why? First of all, if you're the last person, you're not gonna be doing gens. Why? Why are you gonna be doing gens? Maybe if the killer is camping the hatch. Maybe, there you go. But it seems very outdated. It seems very outdated right now, bro. I actually think this perk might be maybe it might be an E tier. And the only reason why I'm putting it in an E tier is because the fact is that you opening up the exit gate faster, because let's say the killer closed at the hatch and you need that, like, each second counts. That absolutely would help out. So, I think that you probably could do something for that one. You probably absolutely can. Let's actually see what else we can do. I don't think we rank that up the ant. All will be well in the end. You just know it. Your confidence check-ins. For each other survivor still alive, grant a 3% bonus of luck to all remaining survivors. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is stupid. Don't really like that perk. F tier. Don't like it. So stupid. I don't really like having any perk that has a chance of you actually getting a chance to get off the hook, or luck, everything. It just seems like why run it, you know? I don't see a reason to run it. I don't really like that. But that's just my opinion. I don't really enjoy that. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, there it is. Pharmacy. You have a knack of finding medicine. Unlock chests that is 100% faster. The hearing reducing for noise from unlocking chests are reduced by 60%. Pharmacy guarantees an emergency medkit upon completing the interaction. I think this is the same thing as this one, right? Yeah, so it guarantees a flashlight. After successful killer blind action, the killer is affected the blindness status effects for 30 seconds. They're kind of in the same range, really, honestly. So I feel like that is the difference is that I guess if you really want to actually have a certain item, but I think E tier is where they fit at right here. Not actually right there exactly, I should say, though. Yeah, probably like back here. Plot twist. So pressing ability when using plot twist to enter the dying state, you leave no blood pools and you make no noise, and you can fully recover from the dying state, which is actually very helpful. When you recover by yourself using plot twist, you are healed instantly and gain a 50% haste. Plot twist, like I said, is very situational if they're slugging. If they're slugging, it is good. I'm being very generous because, like, with the slugging situation, it can be you could be not getting any value from the slugging perks. You can be really not getting any value. So I feel like I'm being very generous by putting them in the C tier. Very generous. I think I read this perk. I think it's like it's a D tier. I get it. It's not really for slugging, but the thing is though is that since it don't work if you just go down normally. Yeah, I get that. It just seems like... Yeah, so the perk reactivate when the exit gets your power. So basically... So... While crouched and motionless to enter the dying state silently, right? When using plot twist to enter the dying state, you leave no blood pools and you make no noise, and you can fully recover from the dying state. I mean, it's kind of... I don't know. It's just interesting to me. But anyways, though, let's actually find the other perks. When another survivor loses a health state in a 32-minute radius around you while you're injured, instantly increase your healing progression by 50% of the missing healing progression. C tier, very simple. Red hearing. After repairing a generator for at least 1 second, it will be highlighted to you with a yellow aura. The generator stay highlighted until it is fully repaired. You repair a new generator or enter a locker. Entering any locker will trigger a loud noise indication for the killer at the highlighted generator's location. Red hearing can only be triggered once every 15 seconds. So I guess if you want to do like an intense mind game with them, and actually like if you want to do that, so basically if you're doing a generator and then you can go somewhere else and then go into a locker, are you gonna drop your tier list? Because I have something to say. Yeah, we're almost finished with it right now. We're almost finished with it. Repress Alliance. When repairing a generator while the perk is active, press the active ability button 1 to call upon the entity to block the generator for 30 seconds. This perk deactivates. I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I don't really like being in the generator blocking. I guess if the killer is going to chase you... Actually, to be honest with you, man, I think it might be E tier for that one. E tier. Not going to lie to you. Rookie Spirit. You keep a careful eye. Complete 3 good or great skill checks while repairing generators to activate Rookie Spirit for the remainder of the trial. Once you activate, you see the aura of regressing generators. I might put this in F only because there's other perks now. Like there's so many perks in this game that they just do a better job at just revealing generators for you. Like Deja Vu, I think it's just better. You lock in with your co-star, engaged with and reacting to each other on higher level. Whenever you look at the killer's scream, then see the killer's aura for 6 seconds. There's a chance you would scream again. If you do, you will see the killer's aura for an additional 2 seconds. So this is a very goofy perk, but honestly, it can actually work very well with Laura's thing. So I'm gonna put it at D tier because you can definitely do that. This perk right here, I remember this perk actually being alright. So while second wind is activated, the next time you unhook or unhook yourself, you're affected by the broken status effect. After a total duration of 20 seconds, second wind automatically heals you from injured to healthy. Second wind deactivates once you become healthy, or if you are put into a dying state before second wind successfully triggers. This is good too if you actually want to, if you don't want to be healed, right? So if you don't want to be healed and you actually just want to like, but the thing is though, is that I actually might put it in C tier because there's so many perks now that can actually just heal you quickly. Like Jill's perk right here can heal you very quickly, or you know, if someone has will make it, they can heal you very quickly. But I'll put it in C because you still can get some value out of it. Self-preservation. Okay, then after I'm going to argue with you because you underrated some perks that I don't think and don't think about all scenarios. Whenever another survivor within 16 meters of you gets hit by a basic attack or a special attack, self-preservation activates. Your stretch marks, pools of blood, and grunts of pain are hidden for 10 seconds. I guess so. I mean, there are situations where I'm actually repairing a generator and there's a survivor being chased. Each time you open up a rummage through a chest, gain 1 token up to 6. When you're performing a great skill check on a generator, consume all tokens. Then for each token consumed, reduce the maximum required generator progress by 4. Wait, so... probably like a C. Not even a C, probably a D. We're almost done. Dude, there's so many perks on this freaking thing. It's hard to rank all of them. I am not gonna lie, bro. Where is that one? Where's the logo again? Like, I'm forgetting the logo. Yeah, so it shows her on a staircase. It has to be Sable, right? Can I type in Sable? Has to be Sable. Yeah. When in basement, this perk activates. Unlock the Strength and Shadow ability, which allows you to heal without a med kit at 70% normal speed. When you finish a heal in the basement, you see the killer's aura. Man, dude, she really loves going in that basement, bro. She loves going in that basement. I'm not gonna lie, bro. She loves going in there. I think D tier for that one. I don't think you should be even going into the basement really, because it's such a powerful spot for the killer. And using that as like a safe haven for you is just kind of, I don't really think it's a safe haven. Where the perk at? Where is it? Okay. Teamwork. When another survivor finishes healing you, you both leave no scratch marks as long as you stay with 16 meters of each other. This effect lingers for 4 seconds. When leaving the range, their effect does not stack. Collective stealth, I guess so. It kind of meshes very well with where do I rank at the, yeah, it kind of meshes very well with this perk too. So if you have this perk and that perk combined, you can definitely do that. You see the aura of a general within the most progress. You see the aura of the killer for 6 seconds after dropping a pallet. This effect lasts for 10 seconds after being chased and chased. Okay, so one half of it makes me go like, okay, so you see the aura when you're chased by the killer, troubleshooter activates, right? I guess so. I guess you can combat the mind games from it, from troubleshooter, if the killer is actually trying to do a mind game with you, but you see the aura. Yes. I feel like 6 seconds isn't really a lot. Or with the generators, I guess so. To give you some value where not to go, because you could try to take a guess that maybe the survivors are there. So because of that, I actually think E tier fits perfectly there. Vigil. You look over your friends even in the dire situation. Decrease the duration of blindness, broken, exhausted, exposed, hemorrhage, hindered, mangle, and oblivious status effect by 40% for you and any survivors within 16 meters. Once out of range, this effect persists 15 seconds. I think Vigil might be actually, I'm gonna be honest, Vigil might be like a C tier. We're coming down to the 3 perks right now. Visionary, remarkable focus of your means of escape. You see a generator within 32 meters. Anytime a generator is completed, Visionary is stable for 20. I don't really think Visionary is that good, really. I don't think Visionary is that good. I actually might do F tier for that one. I don't think Visionary is good. We're gonna live forever. When healing another survivor in the dying state, your healing speed is increased by 100%. Once healing is completed, the healed survivor gains the endurance status effect for 10 seconds. This effect has a 30-second cooldown. Very situational, I feel like. I'm actually going to put that maybe at the end of C tier. And now we have the ADA. So, Wiretap. Wiretap activates after completing a total of 40% worth of repair progress on generator. When standing next to a generator, press the activability button to install a wiretap, which stays active for 120 seconds. Affected generators will be revealed to all survivors by a yellow arrow. Only one wiretap can be active on a generator. I'll probably put that in C tier. Alright folks, that's pretty much it. With all the perks right now, that's every perk right here that is that I ranked. These are all the worst perks. These were like okay, this was like good. You know, you guys got it. I mean, this is pretty much it. Now, if you want to debate with me in the comments. I actually say, hey, you know what? You probably should be doing this. And I know I forgot some perks because I probably did not include all the Walking Dead perks. But if I was going to rank Conviction, for anybody who's wondering, I would honestly rank Conviction probably like in either a B or a C tier. Probably like a low end B, because Conviction is good, except for, like I said, it's the whole slugging situation where if they're slugging you, then you get value out of it. But if you don't, actually, if they don't slug you, then you won't get any value, of course. So it's very situational with that. So not every match you're gonna be able to use Conviction. You're not gonna be able to. But that's all the perks right now that I have. Feel free to actually leave a comment, talk to me, do something right now, whatever you guys want to talk about. Feel free to do it. We've been actually at this for 2 hours. Holy Lord, dude. This is going to be a long video with that one. That's going to be a long one. But yeah, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe on that one. Boom.
And all these dragons, no, I'm not imagining. The problems keep on piling. Oh my God, this is amazing. The problems go high.